Welcome to this video on switchgear and protection for the third semester. In this course, we will explore the essential systems that ensure safe, reliable, and efficient power distribution. Protective system in an electrical power network is a group of electrical devices such as relays, current transformers, CTs, potential transformers, PTs, circuit breakers, and fuses. The main purpose of these devices is to detect electrical faults and isolate the faulty section so that the remaining power system continues to operate safely. The protective system has three main objectives: to ensure the safety of electrical equipment and human life, to maintain the continuity of power supply, to prevent damage caused by abnormal operating conditions. Now let us understand why protective systems are important. First, they protect electrical equipment such as transformers, generators, and cables from severe damage caused by faults. Second, they protect human life by reducing the risk of electric shock and fire accidents. Third, they help maintain the continuity of power supply by quickly isolating only the faulty section without affecting the entire system. Fourth, protective systems improve the stability of the power system, reducing the possibility of blackouts. Finally, they help reduce repair costs by preventing major equipment damage and minimizing maintenance expenses. Now let us understand the nature and causes of electrical faults. Nature of electrical faults. An electrical fault is an abnormal condition in a power system. During a fault, the current or voltage changes from its normal value. Faults can damage equipment and interrupt the power supply. Types of electrical faults. 1. Symmetrical fault. In this fault, all three phases are equally affected. The example is a three-phase fault. It is rare, but it is very severe because it produces a very high fault current. 2. Unsymmetrical fault. This is the most common fault in power systems. It affects only one or two phases. There are three types: single line-to-ground fault. One phase touches the ground. Line-to-line fault. Two phases touch each other. Double line-to-ground fault. Now, let us understand the definition of symmetrical and unsymmetrical faults. 1. Symmetrical fault. A symmetrical fault is a fault in which all three phases are affected equally. In this condition, the power system remains balanced. The fault current in all three phases is equal and displaced by 120 degrees. The common example is a three-phase short circuit. Features of symmetrical fault. It is rare, occurring in only about 2 to 5% of all faults. It is very severe and dangerous because it produces a very high fault current. However, it is easy to analyze because the system remains balanced. 2. Unsymmetrical fault. An unsymmetrical fault is a fault in which one or two phases are affected. In this condition, the power system becomes unbalanced. The fault currents in each phase are unequal. Examples of unsymmetrical faults: single line to ground, LG fault, one phase touches the ground. Line to line, LL fault, two phases touch each other. Double line to ground, LLG fault, two phases touch each other and the ground. Features of unsymmetrical fault. It is the most common fault, accounting for about 95% of all faults. It is more difficult to analyze because the system becomes unbalanced. Let us discuss the different types of unsymmetrical faults. 1. Single line to ground fault, LG. This fault occurs when one phase touches the ground. It is the most common fault in electrical power systems. 2. Line-to-line fault, LL. This fault occurs when two phases come into contact with each other. For example, the R phase and Y phase touch each other. 3. Double line-to-ground fault, LLG. This fault occurs when two phases touch each other and also touch the ground at the same time. For example, the R phase and Y phase touch each other and the ground. Now let us discuss the causes and harmful effects of short circuits. What is a short circuit? A short circuit occurs when a low-resistance path is created between conductors. As a result, a very large current flows through the circuit, which can damage the electrical system. Causes of short circuits. 1. Insulation failure. Insulation may become weak due to aging, overheating, or moisture. 2. Lightning and overvoltage. Lightning strikes and high voltage can damage insulation. 3. Mechanical damage. Broken conductors, fallen trees, or damaged cables can also cause short circuits. 4. Overloading. Excess current causes overheating. 5. Human errors. Wrong wiring connections and poor maintenance can also create faults. 6. Environmental factors. Dust, pollution, and humidity reduce insulation strength. Harmful effects of short circuits. 1. Excessive current flow. A short circuit produces a very high current. This causes overheating of electrical equipment. 2. Damage to equipment. Transformers, generators, and cables may burn or become permanently damaged. 3. Fire hazards. Sparks produced during a short circuit may cause fire accidents. 4. Voltage drop. The voltage in nearby areas decreases. This affects other consumers connected to the same power system. 5. System instability. Severe faults can disturb the entire power system. In some cases, they may even cause a complete blackout. 6. Mechanical stress. High fault current produces strong forces on conductors. This may bend or damage electrical equipment. Now let us move to Session 2 and understand switchgear and protection systems. 1. Definition of switchgear. Switchgear is a combination of electrical devices. It is used to control, protect, and isolate electrical equipment in a power system. Examples include switches, fuses, relays, circuit breakers, and isolators. Importance of switchgear. It ensures the safe and reliable operation of electrical systems. It protects equipment and human life from electrical faults. It helps isolate the faulty section for maintenance. It controls the power flow and improves system stability. It reduces downtime and ensures a continuous power supply. 2. Difference between indoor and outdoor switchgear. Indoor switchgear. It is installed inside buildings. It is protected from weather conditions. It is safer and more secure. It requires less maintenance. It needs less installation space. It has a higher initial cost. It provides better protection and longer service life. Outdoor switchgear. It is installed in open areas. It is exposed to weather conditions. It is less secure and more prone to damage. It requires more maintenance. It needs more installation space. It has a lower initial cost. It provides less protection and a shorter service life. Now let us learn about the main components of a protection system. 1. Current transformer, CT. A current transformer, or CT, reduces a high current to a lower value. 2. Voltage transformer, PT. A voltage transformer, or PT, reduces high voltage to a standard value. 3. Protective relay. A protective relay continuously monitors the electrical system. 4. Circuit breaker, CB. A circuit breaker, or CB, interrupts the fault current automatically. 5. Isolator, disconnector. An isolator provides visible isolation during maintenance. 6. Auxiliary supply. The auxiliary supply provides AC or DC power to protective relays and control circuits. 7. Interconnecting wires. Interconnecting wires connect all the protection components. Now let us study the first two essential switchgear devices, switches and fuses. 3.1.1 Switches. Definition. A switch is a device used to make, close, or break open an electrical circuit under normal operating conditions. Key points. It can be operated manually or mechanically. It is used for the routine control of electrical circuits. It cannot interrupt heavy fault currents. Types of switches. Air brake switch, oil switch, load brake switch. Function. The main function of a switch is to connect or disconnect electrical equipment from the power supply. 3.1.2 Fuses. Definition. A fuse is a protective device that protects an electrical circuit by melting when excessive current flows. Working principle. A fuse works on the heating effect of electric current, also called I²R loss. When the current exceeds the safe limit, the fuse element melts and breaks the circuit. Key points. It provides simple and low-cost protection. It operates automatically during overload or short circuit. After operation, the fuse must be replaced. Types of fuses. Rewirable fuse, cartridge fuse. HRC, high rupturing capacity, fuse. Function. The main function of a fuse is to protect electrical circuits from overload and short circuit currents. Circuit breakers. Definition. A circuit breaker is a protective device that can make, carry, and break current during both normal operation and fault conditions. Key points. It operates automatically when a fault occurs. It can be reset and used again after clearing the fault. It safely interrupts very high fault currents. Working principle. When a fault occurs, the protective relay sends a trip signal to the circuit breaker. The breaker opens its contacts and stops the flow of current, protecting the electrical system. Types of circuit breakers. Oil circuit breaker, air circuit breaker, SF6 circuit breaker, vacuum circuit breaker. Function. The main function of a circuit breaker is to interrupt fault current and protect electrical equipment from damage. Relays. Definition. A relay is a protective device that detects abnormal conditions and sends a trip signal to the circuit breaker. Key points. A relay does not break the circuit directly. It acts as a sensing and decision-making device. It monitors electrical quantities such as current, voltage, and frequency. Types of relays. Electromechanical relay, static relay, digital or numerical relay. Working. The relay continuously monitors the system. It detects any fault or abnormal condition. It immediately sends a trip signal to the circuit breaker. Function. The main function of a relay is to detect faults quickly and accurately, ensuring the safe operation of the power system. Fuse as a protective device. Definition. A fuse is a simple protective device used to protect electrical circuits from overload and short circuits. It works by melting and breaking the circuit when excessive current flows. Composition of a fuse. A fuse consists of 4 main parts. Fuse element, made of copper, silver, or tin-lead alloy. It melts when the current exceeds the safe limit. Fuse holder, holds the fuse element in position and is made of insulating material. Terminals, provide electrical connection to the circuit. Fuse body, encloses the fuse element and, in HRC fuses, contains silica sand to extinguish the electric arc. 3. Function of a fuse. The working of a fuse is very simple. Under normal conditions, the fuse carries current safely. When excessive current flows, the fuse element melts and breaks the circuit. This disconnects the faulty circuit automatically. As a result, electrical equipment is protected from damage and fire hazards. Advantages of fuses. The main advantages of a fuse are simple construction, low cost, fast operation during faults, no maintenance required, reliable protection against short circuits, easy to install and replace. Disadvantages of fuses. Some disadvantages are: a fuse cannot be reused after it blows. It is not suitable for circuits with frequent switching. It provides less control than circuit breakers. Using the wrong fuse rating can cause problems. It is not suitable for large high-voltage systems. Even temporary faults cause the fuse to operate. Now let us understand some important fuse-related terms. 1. Current rating of fuse element. It is the maximum current a fuse can carry continuously without melting. It is also called the rated current of the fuse. It depends on the fuse material, size, and cooling conditions. Usually, it is chosen slightly higher than the normal load current. 2. Fusing current. It is the minimum current at which the fuse element melts. It is always greater than the current rating. It represents the actual current that causes the fuse to blow. 3. Fusing factor. Fusing factor equals fusing current divided by rated current. Its value is always greater than 1. Typical value is 1.25 to 2. It shows the safety margin of the fuse. 4. Prospective current. It is the maximum fault current that would flow if there were no fuse or protective device. It depends on system voltage and impedance. It is also called available fault current. It becomes very high during short circuits. 5. Cutoff current. It is the maximum current actually allowed to flow through the fuse before interruption. It is always less than the prospective current. It shows the current limiting property of the fuse. It is especially important in HRC fuses. Now let's learn about high rupturing capacity, or HRC fuses. An HRC fuse is specially designed to safely interrupt very high fault currents without damaging the fuse holder or the electrical circuit. It is widely used in industrial and power distribution systems because of its high reliability. There are several types of HRC fuses. Rewirable HRC fuse. Cartridge HRC fuse, glass fiber. Cartridge HRC fuse, ceramic, the most commonly used type. Knife blade HRC fuse. Bolted tag HRC fuse. These fuses are used in many applications, such as low voltage circuits up to 415 volts, domestic and small industrial installations, distribution boards and control panels, protection of motors and transformers, heavy-duty industrial systems, switchgear, outdoor installations, power stations. Now let us understand the construction and working principle of an HRC fuse. A. General construction. An HRC fuse consists of the following parts. 1. Cartridge. Fuse body. The outer body is called the cartridge. It is made of ceramic or other strong insulating material. 2. Fuse element. It is a thin strip or wire placed inside the cartridge. It is usually made of silver or silver alloy. 3. Filling powder. The cartridge is filled with fine silica sand. 4. Outer element. Support structure. It supports the fuse element inside the cartridge. 5. Brass end plates. Brass end plates are provided at both ends. 6. Fuse link contacts. These are the external terminals of the fuse. They provide proper electrical connection to the circuit. B. Working principle. Now let us see how an HRC fuse works. Step 1. Normal operation. During normal conditions, current flows through the fuse safely. The heat produced remains within safe limits. Step 2. Fault condition. During overload or short circuit, a large current flows. Step 3. Melting a fuse element. The fuse element melts at its weak points. Step 4. Arc formation. When the fuse element melts, an electric arc is formed between the broken ends. Step 5. Arc quenching. The silica sand absorbs the heat. Step 6. Final isolation. The arc is completely extinguished. Current flow stops safely. The electrical equipment and the entire system are protected from damage. Now let's discuss the advantages and disadvantages of HRC fuses. First, the merits of HRC fuses. They have a very high rupturing capacity, so they can safely interrupt large fault currents. They operate quickly and reliably, reducing damage during faults. They provide current-limiting action, protecting equipment from excessive fault energy. They have a compact and simple design. They require very little maintenance. They can be used in both AC and DC systems. They are available in a wide range of current ratings for different applications. Now, the demerits. HRC fuses are more expensive than ordinary fuses. They are not reusable and must be replaced after operation. Using the wrong replacement fuse may lead to improper protection. They are not suitable for frequent switching. I hope this session has helped you understand the importance of protecting electrical equipment and power systems. Thank you all for your attention and participation. If you found this presentation useful, please like, share, and subscribe for more educational videos on electrical engineering.